Welcome back to Tempa Customs, and I do apologize if it seems like I haven't been doing much on the channel lately, but honestly, nothing can be further from the truth. I come home every night and I'm basically working in the shop every night. It's just really slow progress. So we still have a dirt floor in here. I'm slowly working on that. I've got forms out from there all the way to that end. So the only form left is from that point down to this point here. That end is done as well. It's just slow going. Removing this wood just takes time. And then I start to backfill. Like this is mostly backfilled in over here. And once it's all backfilled, then we can get this leveled out and get gravel in here. So that's what I've been doing. It's pretty much what I do every single day. It's just time consuming. So, but I am going to bring you a Ruby episode this week. Hopefully, it's the plan anyway. Ruby's been in here since I backed her in the one video, and she kind of sank a little bit back there. So I've never tried getting her back out again. So that's what we're going to try to do. Is going to try to get her out. Actually, not even out. If I can just get her up front here, where there's a little bit more breeze, because it's kind of stuffy in here. I've got a list of about 4 things that I want to do, and it all starts, it's kind of like a cascade effect, because I still haven't gotten the axle done that I started episodes on a long time ago. Winter hit, and then the garage came, and I just never got that far. So the axle's one of them. Get the front axle done on Ruby, but I also want to put Nerf bars on Ruby, and that's kind of where the final step is of what needs to happen. So let me get Ruby moved out to the front, hopefully. If not, we're just going to work on her where she is, but hopefully she can move forward a little bit. So let me set up the tripod and see if we can get her out. And I'll remind you, Ruby is not yet 4-wheel drive because I don't have a front drive shaft in yet. So this is where it could be a problem. And she hasn't been starting well lately because I'm sure the spark plugs are fouled out. So that needs to be addressed. We'll just see what happens. Ugh. I was just walking around Ruby to get some B-roll, and I found this on the floor, on the ground. I have no idea where this came from. Oh, I know where this came from. Strike that. Ruby's roll bar. Yeah, this is Ruby's roll bar. It just must have been stuck up underneath the Jeep when I parked it here, and it fell out when I got it started. So yeah, I gotta put that back in. That's a good reminder, because I would have forgotten about that. Starting and driving Ruby, and here's also a reminder that we are very quickly going to have some kind of ventilation system in here sooner than I thought, because I know Ruby does burn a little rich because, well, it's Ruby, but it's hazy. You can see the haze in here, the exhaust fumes. So probably up in this corner somewhere, I will probably put a vent fan to blow the fumes out that way, because it's not going toward my neighbor's house, but somewhere up in, probably right below this light right here would be my best bet. But we'll see when we get that far. But yeah, it's gonna kill somebody with the amount of fumes in here. So now that I got Ruby to the front of the garage, let me tell you what we're gonna do. Since I've had Ruby and I put the 4-inch lift springs on her, the gap between the fender and the tires is a little bit more than I want. I mean, if I couldn't fix it, it's not a huge, it doesn't bother me. I would just like to, for the look of her, bring her down just a little bit. And the body mount kit that's in here is tall. I mean, it's probably a 3-inch body lift, which is a little bit more than I wanted. So I want to go back through and bring down the body lift. The reason doing that is because I think I mentioned that I want to put Nerf bars on it, and before I put the Nerf bars on, I want to get the body where I want the body to be, so that we make sure we get the Nerf bars to the height that the Nerf bars should be at. To do that, I need to modify the front body mount that I did a long time ago when I put the hood on and put the grill on. That brings us to what I want to do today, because one of the car shows last year, I drove her and I popped the hood on her to have Ruby's hood open, and I realized that my radiator fans were sitting against my water pump pulley. And as you know, that's normally not a good thing. So I realized that the video I shot a while back mounting the radiator fans using the zip tie through the radiator things that they sell you for the fans probably work really well. I think Kobe still has them on his car and they've worked just fine. Ruby's just a really, really rough ride, and the fans couldn't handle it, and the fans ripped away from the radiator. So I want to, because I've got to disassemble all this anyway and modify this and lower it and all that stuff, I might as well start with the radiator. I'm going to take the grill out, because the grill's got to be unbolted anyway, to get this stopper out and get the body down. Which, the other thing is, the body's raked. The body's up on an angle. The nose, this is way higher than it should be anyway, but it's because the body mounts are on an angle. So I need to go back through and get it level, which is going to bring this down, basically. But because I've got to get this out anyway, I'm going to pop the whole grill out, drain the radiator, pop the whole grill out, and that way I can work on it as a unit, not have to separate the radiator from the grill. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to mount the fans yet. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. I just know it needs to be done so that I can drive her again. I'm concerned that it's going to I mean, it's already kind of damaged the brand new radiator. I mean, nothing permanent like that. It's leaking, but it's bending fins pretty bad. So, yeah, I'll bring you in and show you what we got. So you can see, like, this is just flopping now, and we actually ended up running zip ties, made a loop of a normal, like a regular zip tie, and now that's through the front of the radiator here. One of those is still holding. I think we got one down in that corner. So, and that's the other thing to get this radiator out, I have to remove the headlights, because these bolts are behind there, and the radiator is held in here really well. I mean, I did a good job mounting that part. That part's not a problem. It's just literally this needs to be fastened better, and I've got enough space that I'll probably come off of this aluminum bracket, and because they can come back that far without a problem. So if I can get them flush with the back of this bracket here and then remount it, it should be fine. So first things first, we're gonna have to disconnect some wiring. I think these are hardwired fans. I do believe, yeah, they're hardwired. But here's where I didn't get into the wiring too bad, but I did eat through the protective coating on the alternator and on the water pump. So this has to come off. I have to drain the radiator, unhook the coolant lines, and then there's just the 2 bolts underneath here for right now. There should be a third one, but I just don't think I ever got that one hooked up. See them underneath here. Yep, just 2 on this side as well. Never got the third one in, but they're solid. I built them into it so they wouldn't break. Oh, shoot. This wiring goes, I didn't think about that very well. Well, no, this just unplugs. This light unplugs, so I can pull that through. Oh, all this runs through the, oh, yo. Well, now that I'm looking at it, this all runs into, I should have put a quick disconnect in this harness somewhere. That was my fault, because there's no way to disconnect this wiring harness and just have it on its own run. I should have done that. So I guess I am disconnecting the radiator. So I really need to get another one of these mounts in. I got this brace in, which, as you can see, is super tight. I gotta get the other one over there put in. Anyway, besides the point. So yes, I'm gonna just have to pull the radiator. I didn't want to, but yeah, I'll leave the grill. Well, no, I can leave the grill in, because still dismounting it down there is not gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna get the headlights out so that I can get the radiator off. So things I didn't think about, and I should have. I did a really nice job getting the wiring into this wire care loom. But again, I put no disconnects in for anything. So I just had to disconnect this wire from the battery to get this part off. And then we're gonna take the relays off, which again, not a big deal. The ground is gonna be my biggest problem, because I did not put a plug in for the ground wire. The ground wire runs through this hole and it wires in with these. So what I'm gonna probably do is just nip this wire, this ground wire, actually, yeah, I mean, looks like there might be a splice here, but I might just nip it right here and put in a spade connector that will allow me to unplug this ground wire for the relay. Relays are loose here. So our wire, got plenty to play with and work with, and this will keep it. If I put my splice in here for the plug. It'll kind of keep it out of the weather a little bit, which is better for them, in my opinion. For a plug itself, I mean, I can get a weatherproof plug, but come on. There we go. I now have to fix that, but that's fine. Okay, so this all is loose. We've got this wire here to our fan as well. That's the switch. Now it is time to get the fans out. It did chew up my radiator pretty good. Again, it's not leaking anywhere, but it definitely mangled these holes here pretty bad. So now we need to unhook the lower radiator hose and the upper radiator hose and undo our 4 bolts. We'll pull the radiator out, see if we can come up with some way to hold this thing in here and not have it fall out again. What have we accomplished so far? Radiator's out, fans are out. I just flushed the radiator out quite a bit of times to get all the crud out of it, because if you remember a lot of episodes back from when I got Ruby running, there's a lot of rust in Ruby's block, and I'm assuming there probably still is some, but a lot of it ended up in the radiator, which is good, because I just hosed a ton of it out. So hopefully that got a lot of the rust out of the engine. So this is now cleaned out. There's still some crud in there, but we'll see. I am missing a couple of tabs on this that I realized that must have fallen off. These tabs that go on the fans, I'm missing 2 of them, which is not great. This goes like this though. So I can kind of see where it was because the holes that are already in there kind of gives me a lineup. So the problem we're going to have is I don't want to put huge, like I thought aluminum flat stock would be easy. Just put 2 pieces of aluminum flat stock, connect all those together, done. And it still might be the way we go, but I really want to make sure that I don't block a lot of airflow. That it would be a bad thing. I wonder if I get aluminum stock, maybe 2 or 3 inch aluminum stock, maybe 2 inch aluminum stock, and cut it for the fan. Yeah, it'll block a little bit up here, but where the fan's drawing water through, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I just have to get some more of these fan clips though, because again, I am missing 2 of them. And if I put them on the outsides, I wonder if I can, Amazon might have them. I might be able to order them up from Amazon. If I can do that, I can still mount everything other than like 2 of them, which I could do once it's already installed. But let me see if I've got some aluminum stock here. I might have some stock here. Got some 3/4 angle stock. But see, it's not gonna work because unless I cut out just I can bring the fans up a little bit. I don't think it matters where the water, better to nip out this and this, but it really does have to come high. But it's thin, which means it's not gonna create a lot of problems. If I get just regular plain aluminum flat stock, 27 inches, so I need a 5-foot section of it, or 2 3-footers would do it. I think this would work if I didn't have to cut so much of it out, because it's really thin wall. And if I cut it here and remove, remove from like there to there for the fan to sit through it, number one, I'm going to be blocking flow directly right here. And it's thin. Once I cut that, it's going to be pretty brittle, and I'm afraid it will vibrate and crack. If I do this with a piece of 3-inch, even 2-inch, if I got 2-inch stock, and I cut along the edge of the fan, I think it would fit better. So I need 2 sections of 2-inch aluminum stock, probably 1/8 inch thick. Maybe, what is this stuff? This is 16, so yeah, 1/8 inch thick would give me I don't think it would crack, and it wouldn't get stress cracks in it. Unless I can find an aluminum L like this that's bigger, which is a possibility too. So, I'm gonna need to go to the store. I do have some steel stock. That's probably the width I want, but that's just gonna be a pain to cut. And it's overkill for what we're doing, and aluminum's a better heat sink anyway. So, with that, we'll end tonight's part of the episode. I'll go get stock either tonight or tomorrow morning, or on my way home from work tomorrow, and we can cut and build the brackets that are going to go in there to hold the fan. I'm probably going to have to order up a couple of fan clips, which I think I can get on Amazon. I think they sell them pretty inexpensively. So that is what we will do. We will see you guys tomorrow. And we're back. I picked up some 1/8 inch by 2 aluminum, and that is going to go probably somewhere right along, leveling it right out with the top of that bar, like that. And then, let's see where this one, let's put them both on here. This one's going to go right below the bolts because it's slightly different. That's fine, whatever. I actually might have to go in a different spot depending on where these sit. Okay, so that, see, that already might not be able to go there. We can come down to there. So if we rest the stock against the washers for the mounts, for the grill, top and bottom, I don't like how much that's blocking, so let's come back up again. Yeah, so we're gonna come back up again. We may actually sit higher than, which is probably better, honestly. And I got 1/4 screws, so 1/4 inch holes to drill these in. So kind of like that probably. just enough to get just enough to overlap that. That's fine. I ordered more of these fan bracket things, so they will be here at some point. First thing you have to do is get these both cut down to size. They're both going to be cut to the same size, so that's pretty easy to do. And I want them to be the width of the radiator, so we'll just do that. We'll mark it. I know the radiator's square, but you know, why not mark them both separately. Now those are cut down, we will get these up to, I don't know, they don't need to go crazy high or crazy low. Let's just pick a size that looks right. Go 3/4 of an inch. Sounds good to me. We'll just use this. Look at this, this gives a perfect mark. Side and that side. Just line those up right above the radiator bracket. Center it up, and we'll drill a hole right there. And one about right there. If I want to be fancy about it, I can take this again because it's plenty of room. Come in there. Come in there. Back down here again. And then you get really fancy, you go, wish I had my speed square there. And there, X marks the spot for us to drill a hole. That's gonna be identical on both sides. I smashed the bejesus out of my finger today at work with a rubber mallet, and it is very tender, and I keep bumping it on everything. Here we go. 2 perfect markings to drill a 1/4 inch hole. Let me go get a drill bit. And that there, and mark the radiator. Correct, and that is correct. Radiator marked. Do the same thing, drilling the radiator. Normally, if this was steel, I would center punch it, but it's just aluminum. It goes right through. Do want to put something underneath it though, it's kind of wobbly. That one does, and that one does. Okay, so there we go. That one's kind of snugger, but it's kind of nice for mocking it up that's going to hold there. I mean, I can put a nut behind this one to make sure, but that's what that's going to be. Let me do the same thing with the other one, and I'll bring you back in when that's done. Drilled these ones, this bottom one, the same way as I did with the top one. There we go. And then I've kind of got the fan. I used these little holes as my way of centering it. They're all just barely on the aluminum, and same with the top, so that's kind of gives me my spot where this is going to sit. The fan's pretty well centered left to right. I've marked the holes. I'm going to pop like probably these guys up here and put them in these holes down here so I can mark the bottom ones, these two that I'm missing, and then we'll drill the lower plate. Plates are drilled. I'm hoping they're going to be close. I randomly guessed the length of screw I needed to go through this and to the fan, and I way overestimated the head size. They'll be fine. The head won't hit the fan or the radiator, but they're going to be really long, so I probably end up either cutting them or getting shorter ones once I know for sure. But these will all go through from this side like that, and then this is going to end up going like that. And the short guys go back in again, like that. Again, these don't even get close to the radiator, so that's not a concern, especially once they pull tight. Okay, let's see if we can get these fans to line up. Plenty of room there. Okay, so that's that one. I don't have brackets for a couple of them, but we know that. Okay. Those will all pull tight like that. Okay, so in theory, I could be done with it and not worry about it, but the strip of aluminum is cutting through about that much of my fan. So what I want to do is mark these like that. Ow, finger hurts, pain. Like that. Wait, this is going to, it basically goes to the end there. And like that. I can cut a little bit inside those lines, and because I want the fan to still rest on the aluminum, so I want the actual housing to still, so it's not flopping, and gives me a little more aluminum. I don't think that little bit's gonna cause me a problem. So now probably the hardest part is gonna be cutting those and making those smoothish. So let's try that. Because we know that if I cut this green line, or even inside this green line, I'm already too big for the fan because the marking went bigger than it went outside the fan blade. I'm going to take this tape, cover the green line, again, this doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to give myself a rough area to cut on. Okay. Wish I had a slightly finer line tape, like maybe 1/4 inch. This is like 3/8, but it will be just fine. we have our tape moves, we have our Sharpie mark on both sides of it. Like that. So if I cut right in here on both of them, it gives me a decent amount of material still there. So let's find out how this goes. There we go. I'm not gonna lie to you, that got kind of hot. Take a flappy paddle, clean up this edge a little bit. And it's still strong enough to, I think, hold the fans. Once we get the fan in there, we'll see how much this area is taken up. But let me do the other one, and then we'll assemble this. Let's assemble this up for hopefully the last time for the most part. I mean, again, I have to get a couple brackets put in for the fans, but I can have the bolts already in, so for the most part it'll be completed. So mark this one as bottom. That's gonna go there. So we'll put this through. Like so. Okay, this is the top one. Okay, push that down. Oh yeah, we're good. Everything is in except for the two that I'm missing. And I think just for aesthetic, possibly I may trim, I may like 45 this to kind of match the top of the radiator. They come down like that. And cut something like that just to make it look a little bit nicer, top and bottom, maybe, I don't know. I mean, the bottom's got this lip here, so I might only be able to like, go like that on the bottom. I might not, we'll see. It really doesn't matter. Once it's in the Jeep, no one will see it but me, but I'll know. That being said, I think that's gonna hold up really well. There's a little bit of flop in it. It does vibrate a little bit. And if that really became an issue, which I don't think it ever would, I could possibly put another strap here, just as like a steel strap across these two bolts. Or I could even put a piece of aluminum in here, aluminum angle, to make it stiffer. I don't think I'm gonna have to do that. This is very, very minimal flex. I never have had an issue with Ruby overheating. I don't think this little bit of coverage is gonna cause a problem. The aluminum's cut out pretty well on the inside. I really don't believe it's going to be an issue. If it becomes an issue, I'll have to figure out something else. But for the most part, I think this is going to solve the issue of having to worry about my radiator fans falling out. Again, I might clean them up just a little bit to give it a little bit of an aesthetically pleasing look. I don't know. We can't install this yet because, like I said earlier in the episode, the reason for taking this stuff off was so I can bring the grill down and level out the body, because that's going to hopefully be the next episode. And there's no reason to have the added weight up front there while I'm doing that. So we can't reinstall this yet. We'll redo that once we get the body down and level on Ruby. So with that, with mounted stiff, strong fans and a couple things I need to finish, like these pieces come in tomorrow. Amazon sending them. I'll have them tomorrow. We'll end the episode. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everybody has a great week.